It's Tuesday, it's 2, and this is episode 8 of Chat with Brandy. Today we are going to continue on, this is the second part of our 2-part series on my favorite apps. So today we are talking business apps. Last week, so episode 7, I chatted about personal apps, but I think that you should watch that video as well as this one because some of the apps that I featured in that video also have business functions, so they kind of work to watch together. So there are a couple apps in this video that I am affiliated with or I have some kind of partnership with. So when those, I have like some discounted rates and that kind of thing that I can offer you on those. So when those come up, I'll let you know. But if I don't mention any sort of affiliation, that just means I don't have an affiliation with them at all. And I'm just providing this to you as just because I love it. Okay. So just like last week, we are going to go into 4 different categories. So we're going to look at the first apps we're going to talk about are workflow management apps. So client management, calendars, teamwork, project management, that kind of thing. The second one will be accounting, payroll, tax, HR. The third one will be marketing, so promotion, advertising, that kind of stuff. And then number 4 will be continuing education and business development. So let's get into the workflow management apps first and foremost. Okay, so the first one there is Things3, which you should recognize from last week's episode. We've already gone into quite a bit of detail on this app, but I do use it for work as well. So basically what I do is I put in calendar items for each client who need some sort of follow-up from me. So I'll put in a calendar item for reminder emails. I'll also use it as kind of a logbook for conversations that I've had with clients. So I'll always document the date and then, abbreviated version of the conversation so that I can always look back and see what has happened on that file. This app is cloud-based, so if I lose my phone or it gets destroyed in some way, I can always access it later. Like I said in the first video, the app works really well for me because I don't have team members or anyone that I need to share my tasks with, but there are, a zillion or so apps that do that for you. The ones that I'm mentioning today that I've seen over and over great reviews on are Asana or Trello. So they both have the additional functionality that you can add specific templates for workflows in. So for example, if there's a task that you do all the time in business, so for example, let's say when you're onboarding a client, you always email them a checklist or something like that, you can actually document that workflow in Asana or Trello and have it so that every time that task gets done, no matter who it's done by, it's being done the exact same way. So that really helps build the consistency for your company or your brand. They also, so they both have a free version and then they pretty much have the exact same price tiers after that. So my suggestion would be trial them both and see which one works best for you and your team. And then buy the tier that you require. Okay, the next ones are cloud-based file sharing options. So again, I have a lot of, I back up my computer to the cloud, but I have a lot of my client files and that kind of thing just directly on my network because I don't need to share them with anybody else. But I do share sometimes files back and forth between clients. And instead of using email for that, often I will use Dropbox or Google Drive. So these are really useful because, again, they're on the cloud, so they're saving in the cloud instead of just on your hard drive. They're shareable, they're secure. G Drive, they both have a free version. G Drive, you get more for free, so you get 15 gigabytes of storage for free. Dropbox, you only get 2 gigabytes of storage for free, but you can upgrade either of them at any time. So those are the workflow ones. So now we're gonna go into accounting apps, which of course is my forte. So the first one we're gonna talk about is definitely QuickBooks Online. So this one is so much more than an accounting software. You can use this app to budget, take and store photos of receipts, as a client contact center, invoicing, payroll, inventory management. I'm fully certified in both QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. I've been working with Intuit, which is the the software company that makes QuickBooks for over 15 years. And I can say that, like, with absolute confidence, this is probably one of the most user-friendly softwares that there is for non-accountants, for just business owners who want to have a finger on the pulse on their business's finances. I always recommend QuickBooks Online. I certainly have clients who are like, I don't really want anything to do with the finances of my business. I want you to just take care of all of that. You can give me the report monthly or quarterly or yearly, whatever that looks like. I usually would set them up in QuickBooks Desktop. Anybody who's like, I want to get in there and do the daily, brushing and flossing, I would set them up on QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online, the client, so the business owner, can go in and see or work in there anytime you want, and then the accountant or the bookkeeper can also collaborate on the same files. So they can go in and do a health check anytime. A lot of my clients, I do, as a service, I do QuickBooks training. So I'll do like an hour call with a client every month, and we'll just go over their questions, and we'll look at their QuickBooks together and see what's working and what isn't. And also, sometimes I act as an accountability partner for them. So we'll talk about what their goals were for that period of time, what worked, what didn't, hits and misses, that kind of thing. So it works super well for that. So when you purchase a subscription with QuickBooks Online, you do, of course, have access to the computer version of it, which has the full functionality, but there's also a smartphone app that you get kind of with it, which I will show you right now. Okay, so the QuickBooks app, this comes with your subscription to QuickBooks. It is a handy app, but it does only have a small amount of functionality on it in comparison to what you get on the desktop version. But it is still quite convenient. So when you first log in, you get your dashboard of your business's profit and loss, which this is all just fake numbers, so you don't have to worry if I'm giving away any private information. So on here, you have your profit and loss right at the top here. You can change the period. So if you want it to just show the last 30 days, for example, or the entire year. You can also see at a quick glance your paid and unpaid invoices, your expenses, and again, you can change the time period that you're looking at, and then your account balances, as well as this little plus sign on the bottom allows you to give a invoice, estimate, sales receipt to a client, as well as accept a payment. And then the other really nice thing about this here is you can add a receipt as you get them. So for example, let's say we went to Tim Hortons and got breakfast. And so you would enter the amount of the receipt. You would enter how you paid for it, the date, and then you can actually take a photo of the receipt. So here, you're just going to make sure. Oops, there we go. Okay, so when you're taking a photo of a receipt, no matter what app you're using, it's very important to have the vendor name, the date, and the amount in the receipt. So because I have all three of those amounts here, all three of those items here, I'll use this photo. It's now attached to my QuickBooks account, and I can either file away that receipt or I can destroy it if I want to. So here you just have to log what type of expense it is, and this one is a meal. You can add if it includes GST or not. And then if you want to add any notes, and this is kind of optional, but if you wanted to add a note in here, you could. And then you would just save it, and that expense is now logged into your QuickBooks Online. Okay. So there are several tiers of QBO that you can purchase. At the minimum, I would recommend what's called the Essentials version of the program, which is normally around $27 a month or so. I do have a referral code to get you a discounted rate. It's 50% off for the first 6 months, so I'll drop that link later. If you need inventory or budgeting for your business, you will need the Plus version, which is normally $40 a month or $20 with the discount. Payroll is also available as an add-on app, which I'll talk about a little bit later. The discount is, oh, by the way, yeah, this discount that I'm offering is not contingent on you working with me at all. So you can certainly use whatever professional you like or not at all and still use this discount. And just if you are a business owner, accounting software is a 100% absolute must for you. So this is the one that I would recommend. There are tons out there, but this is the one I recommend. Okay, the next one that we're going to talk about is HubDoc. So I'm also certified and a partner with HubDoc. This is an app that fetches online statements and bills. So if for you a big pain is trying to go online and fetch like all your bank statements and all of your telephone bills and all your utilities and that kind of stuff every time it's tax time, you will love this. So I'm just going to show you the video. Okay, HubDoc is a super handy little app. So what this does is it's kind of like the QuickBooks in that you can capture receipts, but it takes it a step further by actually going and fetching online bills for you. So you set up whatever vendors that you have in here that you may have online. So for example, I have my bank statements and they are my real bank statements, so I'm not going to open them for you. But I also have TELUS Mobility. I usually have Shaw in here, but it looks like it's lost the connection. So it's really nice. It checks every night to see if you have any online statements that are available to dump in here, and it will grab them. So it's kind of one of those set it and forget it sort of things. The other thing that you do get with HubDoc is an email address. So you can actually forward, like if for this example, I got this PayPal email receipt and I just forwarded it to my HubDoc email address and it automatically was in this app for me. And then the other thing you can do is just like the QuickBooks Online, you can also use this app to take photos of receipts. If it's going to open it, we'll see. Oh, there we go. So again, you can take the photo and following the same rules as before, the date, the vendor, and the amount need to be in there. And then of course you can add your accountant or your bookkeeper on as a collaborator on this account. And then they can just hook it up directly to your QuickBooks Online, or it also hooks up to Xero, Box, and Bill.com if you use any of those applications. You can also sort your statements and receipts into folders. I'm not sure why this app is being so slow right now. Or your bookkeeper can do that for you. And you can also tag your receipts. So if you wanted to, tag something as personal or business or whatever in there. So super handy app, especially for those of you that spend a lot of time trying to go and find those online receipts and that. Okay, so that was HubDoc. So the pricing for HubDoc is $20 US per month after your free trial period, which is 30 days if you were just to go and sign up. As a partner, I'm able to get you the first 6 months free, but your account would be linked with mine. So it would be contingent on you working with me on that one. Okay, so the next one is payroll. So I already mentioned that QBO has a payroll option, and that in Canada is through WagePoint. If you so you'll see the WagePoint icon there below. So you can, like I say, purchase it right through QBO, or you can also have it standalone as well. WagePoint offers direct deposit, T4 creation, and then records of employment for your employees. It's actually the same price whether you add it to QuickBooks Online or you just have it standalone. So it's $20 per pay period plus $2 per employee. For the standalone WagePoint account, I have a 10% off code that's not linked to me. Again, I'll link that later for you guys. Also in the payroll category is T-Sheets. I'm working on getting certified on this software currently, so I don't have any partnership or offer for you yet, but it's essentially an app. It's actually pretty cool. So if you have employees, it allows you to track your time for your employees. It also has a GPS tracker that you can put on all your employees' phones. So for example, if you have a business where you have job sites, you could look and see which employee is closest to that job site and send them there. It also has, if you just work on your own, you can use it to track billable time. So if you want to know how much time you're spending on each client, you can use it for that. It also works as a shift scheduling app, and it gives you all kinds of reports that you can use for payroll and accounting. So it's free for just one user, and then it goes up depending on how many employees you have using it. So if you have under 100 employees, it's $25 a month. There is a free trial as well, so you could always just use it for a bit and see how you like it. And it integrates with QBO, Xero, and Sage. Okay, then the last one in this category is MileIQ, and I did talk about this app a little bit in episode 3, vehicle expenses. So this is kind of the shortcut to tracking kilometers instead of doing it by hand like I talked about in that video. So I'm going to show you the app first, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it here after. Okay, so the MileIQ app, I just want to show you here. You can see that there's 27 notifications there. That is because there are 27 trips that I have not yet classified. I usually put a calendar item in every month, usually near the end of the month, to just go in and classify all my drives for that month while they're still fresh in my memory. You could definitely do it once a week, whatever works best for you. But I would definitely recommend doing it at least once a month. So you come in here, this is the first thing you're going to see. You're going to see a dashboard that shows all of the drives that you have not yet classified. So what it'll show you is your starting address and your ending address. So you can kind of go, if you know that this address is somewhere that you are often, you could change that to your home or your work or whatever. So this one, I know that it was a business trip. So what you can do is you can add a note. So you could say the reason for the trip, which is, as you know from episode 3, is requirement for CRA. So you could say meet with a client here or supply pickup or whatever that looks like. And then you're going to just swipe it to the right, and that has become a business trip. Now this one, let's say we know that this one is personal, you can swipe it to the left and it just goes into the personal category. Okay. So again, with the business trip, so this one's definitely personal. But with the business trips, if it's a business trip and you're swiping it to the right, you're going to want to add the reason in there. So that's the only thing you really need to track with this. So then at the end of the year or even at the end of the month, you can look at your reports and you can just send them to your email address, and then you can forward that on to your accountant. Yeah, so super handy for those of you that absolutely despise writing down your kilometers. So the next thing we're going to go into is my favorite marketing apps. Okay, so for social media management, for those of you that are juggling a bunch of different platforms, there's Hootsuite or Buffer. So they both have free tiers you can start with. So again, trial it out, see what is. So many of these are a personal preference. They both allow you to create and schedule social media content and have different levels of analytics available, more than what you already get with like Facebook and Insta and stuff like that. I don't actually use either of them, but I wanted to include something here. I really just focus most of my time on Facebook and a little bit on LinkedIn. But I know, like I say, some of you are juggling a lot of platforms, like especially those of you that sell products. I know that this is a big thing. So I wanted to include these apps as suggestions to you. I'm also considering hiring a social media service company that helps me schedule with that. So let me, I think we'll talk more about that when we do the quarterly review video, but let me know what you think about that. The next one is MailChimp. I am using this. I'm fairly new to it, but I'm using the free version, which is for email. So basically MailChimp is an email list software. So if you have an email list of under 2,000 emails and you send less than 12,000 emails a month, which I certainly do, it's free. So it works really well for me. Basically, they have a bunch of templates on there. It lets you kind of organize your list really well. So far, I really enjoy it. And I think that it's definitely one of the most popular email list apps. So I think it's a good suggestion. The next one is Canada Post Snap Ad Mail. So this is direct mailing through Canada Post. So if you send out print marketing to either targeted neighborhoods or a postal code, so you're not actually addressing your mail, but you can choose on this online tool that Canada Post gives you demographics. So you can either say, okay, I want to pick this neighborhood because it's affluent. Sorry, I shook the camera there. Or you could choose, families that have children, or you could choose certain income levels. There are a ton of options. There's a ton of tiers to it, so it's hard for me to give you a price. But I know if you do print advertising like that and it's been successful for you, I think you should really check this out. So I'll link the online tool, but you can always, you should know as well, you could hire a service to do it all for you, from the design of the mailing to the printing, to the setting up the demographics and everything. So if you would like a recommendation for that, let me know as well. The next one is Canva. So I use Canva for graphic design. So I am by no means a graphic designer, but Canva makes it super easy. So I really wanted to include it here. And I'm gonna just show you the video. Look at Canva. So if you have any kind of artistic bone in your body, this will definitely be usable for you. Even if you don't, honestly, like you can see on here, there are so many different templates that are customizable. So on the app, which I have open right now, there is some limited functionality. There's a lot more options on the desktop version of this, but I just want to show you this app is so easy to use. And there's already so many options like flyers, logos, cards, collages, like anything you can basically think of is on here. And they're super easy to customize as well. So even on the app, if I decided that I wanted to make myself a business card and I just want to do it on my phone for whatever reason, I'd be able to just go in here quickly, and all of a sudden I am a massage therapist. You gotta love that. Okay, so again, it's free. Most of the templates and most of the icons and things that are on there are free, and they are really pretty, I think, and easy to use, and I love Canva. You can upgrade on it. I believe it's about $14 a month, and it allows you to be able to resize any template that you want, and it allows just some more functions as far as if you want different types of graphics and that kind of thing. It gives you more availability there, but it definitely is free for most of this stuff, and it's one of those things that's just really nice to use. Okay, so sorry, I'm trying not to shake you guys up, but you know, it just gets shaky sometimes. So the last category here is business development. So you'll see the first two, if you watched last week's already, you'll recognize those. So the first one is podcasts, so iTunes for Apple users or Stitcher for Android. And then the second one is Udemy, which we talked about last week. So it's a free app, it's available for all platforms, and it contains thousands of online courses on basically anything you can imagine, particularly things like software. So if you want to know more about Excel, for example, there's a ton of courses on there. Any kind of coding program, graphic design, website building, anything like that is on Udemy, so I definitely recommend it. The next three I'm going to mention are not apps, but they are websites, and they each have tools and just so many resources that you can use. So the first one there is, well, it's actually not the first, it's on there, is the Futurepreneur Business Plan Writer. So I will link directly to that tool. It is free. It's really easy. It like lays out the whole template of an appropriate business plan to really help you. And even if you're not looking to get funding for your business, it's a great idea to have a business plan in place just for your own information, to be able to kind of really get your head around all the information that you need when you're building a business, and being able to set goals for yourself as well. So that's a really good tool. The other ones are the BDC, which is the Business Development Canada, and the Business Link Alberta sites. Both have a ton of useful tools and calculators, templates, articles, market research tips. They even have they have webinars and they have events and that kind of thing as well. So those should be really helpful for you guys too. So that is it for today. Those are all of the my favorite business apps so far. So I hope that you found at least a couple of these useful and entertaining, and I also hope that you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.